We had heard Berlin was a city bursting with art and music, and we were very excited to spend some time there. Here is our list of the 25 best things to do in Berlin.
The East Side Gallery is the longest remaining strip of the former dividing wall between East and West Berlin. Today, the 1.3-kilometer long wall stands as a memorial to freedom, and it is covered in art and graffiti. Now we are visiting Brandenburg Gate, and this gate dates back to the 18th century, and it used to be one of the old gates leading into the city. Now, after the wall came down in 1989, this became a symbol of unity between East and West Germany, so it's an important site to visit.
And just behind the gate is the Hotel Adlon. This is where Michael Jackson infamously dangled the baby. Here at Tiergarten, one of the biggest parks in the city, and it's a nice quiet green escape from the city center. We're loving just walking around. This park actually used to be the king's hunting grounds because it is full of wild deer and other animals.
MauerPark is a hipster hangout. Every Sunday, people flock to this park and spend the day barbecuing, listening to music, enjoying a few beers, and simply having a good time. There's a popular flea market where you can pick up old vinyls and clothes, and if you head over to the bear pit, you can catch some karaoke and musical performances.
If you want to spot some cool street art, then head over to Friedrichshain. This neighborhood is home to a lot of old warehouses turned cafes and art galleries, and they exude a very cool vibe. You can't come to Berlin and not eat a currywurst. This is the city's most popular fast food snack. The sausage is served with a ketchup and curry powder concoction. It's delicious.
Next, we're at the Reichstag building, which has a pretty cool glass dome on top. This dome is actually open to visitors and it offers 360-degree views of the city, but the only thing is that you need to sign up well in advance.
Today we're visiting Tempelhof, a repurposed airport here in Berlin. And this is the first time, I must say, I've ever walked on a runway. What's so cool about this park is that it has been repurposed, and now people are enjoying all kinds of leisure and recreation activities. There's a dog park, there's people inline skating, riding bicycles, jogging, walking, having picnics. This is such an awesome place just to come and hang out.
So if you enjoy museums and art galleries, you'll want to visit Berlin's Museum Island. They actually have 5 different museums here, and if you get a daily pass for 18 euros, you get access to all 5. We are now visiting the Holocaust Memorial in Berlin. It's also known as the Memorial to the Murdered Jews of Europe. And the artist's idea when he was creating this was to create a sense of confusion and uneasiness when you walk through the memorial. Yet it's very orderly at the same time, and that's supposed to mimic the Nazi regime. So we're going to be showing you this area. Charlottenburg Palace is the largest palace in Berlin and the only surviving royal residence in the city. It was home to Queen Sophia Charlotte, and the interior is quite grand. Once you've browsed through the many halls and ballrooms, you should head out to the beautiful gardens in the back.
Checkpoint Charlie was one of the crossing points between East Berlin and West Berlin during the Cold War. Today you can get your passport stamped with the stamps of the former sectors. Located near Alexanderplatz, the TV tower offers a great lookout over the city.
Chocolate! Ritter Sport is a chocolate brand that is sold all over Germany, and while in Berlin, we couldn't resist sampling a few of the different varieties.
Berlin Cathedral is located on Museum Island, and it's one of the most beautiful churches in the city. You wouldn't be able to tell by looking at it today, but the dome was severely damaged during the Second World War. If currywurst is to your liking, you'll want to check out this quirky museum devoted to Berlin's favorite sausage. One of the coolest things about this museum is that they have a giant sofa shaped like a currywurst.
Renting a bike is a great way to get around the city, and most places will rent out bikes for €10 a day.
For a leisurely afternoon, hop on a boat and enjoy a tour down the River Spree.
You can't come to Berlin and not eat a Wurst or a sausage. I've just ordered myself one from the street. They have lots of local stands, and this was only €1.35. Big bite. That's so good. And I got it with mustard, which is even tastier. The Friedrichshain Flohmarkt takes place every Sunday, and it's a great place for people watching and a little browsing. You'll find all sorts of items for sale, ranging from old musical instruments to antique dishware. This market draws big crowds.
The Germans sure know how to enjoy a hearty breakfast, and we recommend you try it too. Breakfast usually offers a wide sampling of loaves and bread rolls accompanied with various deli cuts and cheese.
We couldn't resist visiting yet another cat cafe while we were in Berlin. Unlike the cafes we had previously visited in Asia, this one was quite small and only had 2 cats, but if you're a cat lover, you might just enjoy Pipi's Cats and Cafe.
While in Berlin, we enjoyed a hearty meal of Schnitzel. This thin strip of meat is coated in flour, eggs, and breadcrumbs before being deep fried. You can order it with a side of mashed potatoes or German noodles known as Spätzle.
It's quite easy to get around Berlin using the U-Bahn and S-Bahn system. You can go almost anywhere, plus it's really affordable.
In Berlin, there's a big Turkish population, and that means there's awesome Turkish street food. Right here, I've got a doner in front of me, and it only costs €3.50, and this thing is a massive behemoth. I can't wait to take the first bite. Oh yeah, amazing. And that's Berlin for you, a city that has risen from the ashes of the war, which is now bursting with art, music, and life. Have you been to Berlin? We'd love to hear your favorite things about the city in the comments below.
For more travel and food videos, hit subscribe! We are visiting Berlin, which is our fourth and final stop of our bus-about tour. This is actually one of my favorite cities in Europe, so today we're going to be running around town and showing you some of the highlights.
Berlin is a city that we are always happy to go back to, and being here in the summertime was a lot of fun. We divided our time by visiting some of the main attractions by day and then enjoying some of the nightlife by night.
So here is a lesson in travel planning. One of the coolest things you can do in Berlin is come and climb the glass dome on top of the Reichstag building. Now, in order to do so, you have to make reservations online well in advance, and unfortunately, we procrastinated a little too long and all the slots were filled up. So now we don't get to go up the dome, which is so sad. So instead, we're admiring it from a distance. Outside of Turkey, I'd say Berlin is one of the best places to sample Turkish food. We couldn't resist going back to our favorite doner kebab stand in Alexanderplatz for a tasty lunch.
Here outside of Brandenburg Gate, a pretty iconic landmark, and next we're going to visit Tiergarten. Today, the gate is seen as a symbol of freedom since it's where people gathered to celebrate when the Berlin Wall came down. We're visiting Tiergarten, one of our favorite green spaces in the city, and it used to be the former royal hunting grounds.
We also made time to swing by Museum Island. With a total of 5 museums, this is the place to be if you're an art lover.
Later on in the day, we took the train to Friedrichshain Flohmarkt, which is the epicenter of Berlin's cool factor. This is a borough known for its street art, flea markets, booming music scene, and overall it's a great place for nightlife.
So we are now standing in front of the East Side Gallery, which used to be the wall that divided West Berlin from East Berlin, and we're just going to be walking the length of it and showing you some of the artwork. The stretch left standing is 1.3 kilometers in length, and it displays over 100 paintings from artists all over the world. Some pieces are a little abstract, but the majority have clear messages of hope and peace.
From there we continued on to the Oberbaum Bridge, which turns into a bit of a street party when the sun goes down. Several bands had set up along the length of the bridge, and you could listen to everything from urban beats to indie rock. Who needs to pay admission at a club when you can dance on Berlin streets for free?
And that's the cool thing about Berlin. When it comes to nightlife, it doesn't matter what night of the week it is, there's always something happening. After checking out some of the bands, we found a cool gravel lot turned pop-up bar and we enjoyed a few drinks as the sun set over the city.
Cool. I got to see this band play on the street, and I saw them a year ago in Berlin at MauerPark, so it's really awesome. I just got to pick up their CD. They are called Rupert's Kitchen Orchestra.
Whoa. Shots and snacks. Are you getting the shots or are you getting the snacks?
I'm getting the shots.
Oh. Sam just found a makeshift bar on the side of the road because that's how it's done in Berlin.
Sam's having a sambuca.
Sambuca for Sam.
I'm in licorice heaven right now.
Sipping? It's a shot.
I'm sipping on licorice heaven. I am savoring this.
Okay.
And that's a wrap for Berlin and a farewell to the Bus About crew.
We have made it to Berlin, and that means today we are going to introduce you to a really popular fast food snack that you can get here in the city, the doner kebab. So, doner kebab, you're probably thinking, isn't that Turkish? And yes, it is Turkish, but Germany has a huge Turkish population, and that means they brought their recipes and their food over, and they've actually adapted the doner kebab to kind of fit the German taste when it comes to the cuisine. So this would be considered a German doner kebab. So I'm gonna bite right in because this looks so good and we've been filming it for too long. So
we sure have.
Let's bite here. Messy. So good. Oh, I'm losing toppings. And there's a bee trying to steal my food. No.
So the place where we picked it up, you could choose from a number of different toppings. They had chicken and veal, and they had it right on that big rump where they're shaving it off.
Skewer.
Oh, skewer, it's so good. And I'll show you some of the toppings in here if we take a look. So you have things like tomatoes, lettuce, other things like that. Of course, this is the chicken. But what makes it kind of unique for Germany here is that it has cabbage.
Cabbage and onions.
And
the
onions
Germans
too.
Really like that.
Yeah. All right, time for my first bite. Oh gosh.
He dropped it all over the place.
All over the place. I have an onion on my wrist.
Emergency. Is it good?
Oh yeah, it's really good. And the nice thing is this is a really cheap meal and you can share it with someone.
So another thing I'm noticing while I'm eating this is that the doner kebab actually has grilled veggies, and that's not something I've ever had anywhere else before. So I'm kind of wondering if that's also one of the German adaptations or if it is done in Turkey. And in terms of the sauces, you can get a really hot and spicy sauce. They have a few different herb sauces, garlic sauce, and a yogurt-based sauce. So lots of variety there. Yeah, I'm just gonna get back to eating this because it's so good.
We ended up getting the hot sauce.
Yeah. And price point for that delicious doner kebab.
So that was only 350 euros, and what's really cool about this is you can find these kebabs almost everywhere. We picked this one up at a metro station. You can also find them on the street, and we highly recommend you go out and grab one while you're in Berlin.
For 28 years, the Berlin Wall acted as a dividing line between East and West Berlin. After Germany reunified, most of the wall was demolished, but today some stretches remain as a reminder of the past, but also as a memorial for freedom.
The East Side Gallery was painted in 1990 with more than 100 artists involved in the project. Today, the East Side Gallery is the largest and longest lasting open-air gallery in the world. If you're in Berlin for a visit, be sure to swing by.
We really enjoyed seeing the diverse works of art, and we recommend visiting on a weekday to beat the crowd.
We visited cat cafes in 3 different countries, one in Korea, one in Thailand, and one in Malaysia, and this is going to be our first in Germany. This one is called Peepee's Katzen Cafe. As soon as we walked into Peepee's Katzen Cafe, 2 very energetic young cats greeted us. As friendly as could be, they came over to sniff our bags, clothes, and shoes before turning their attention to what was going on outside of the window. Although it was just the 2 of them, they certainly gave us enough attention while providing plenty of entertainment as we sipped on tea and ate cake. It wasn't soon before they started to play with one another, tearing around the room and leaping from pole to pole. Soon play turned to fighting. They really went at it for a while, blue versus red. For anyone who has had a young cat as a pet, this is certainly normal behavior, and it made us laugh. Not long after, they started to settle down a bit for an afternoon nap.
So this cafe was quite different from the ones we have visited in Asia. For starters, it was quite small and they only had 2 cats to play with us. Also, they didn't have a lot of toys, which makes it a little difficult to be interactive with the cats because it's difficult to lure them your way. But overall, it was a nice little place to drink some tea and have cake with some cats for company.
So the total cost of the cat cafe was €8. That allowed us to get 2 teas and a slice of cake, which was quite affordable, we thought. Sausage man, my new best friend. So you can't come to Berlin and not have currywurst. Actually, yesterday was the very first time I tried it and I instantly loved it. Today we're going to be trying 2 different kinds of currywurst. We're going to be trying some from the east side and also some from the west side, and they're completely different.
So the currywurst is considered fast food here in Germany. So it's a sausage that is steamed, then fried, it's sliced up, and it's served with ketchup and curry powder over top. Delicious.
First bite.
It's amazing. I've been eating these since I first got to Berlin and I haven't gotten sick of them. They're so tasty.
Sure, I get lots of curry sauce on mine.
Ooh.
Wow. I can see why these are very popular in Germany. And if just eating currywurst isn't enough for you, one of the more quirky attractions in Berlin is visiting the Currywurst Museum, where of course apparently you get to have currywurst at the end of your tour.
So the sausage can be eaten many different ways. Today I got it with French fries, but you can order it in a bun with a side of sauerkraut or even with a big potato, so you're not limited for options.
So you can typically pick up a currywurst for anywhere between €2.50 to €3 just on its own, and if you want to get a side like fries, it usually is about €5.
Good morning! So since we're hanging out in Germany these days, we thought we would show you what a German breakfast looks like. So we've set up the table, and as you can see, it consists of a lot of different breads, like we have a few buns here, and also meats. Germans like to have salami, ham, and just different deli cuts for breakfast. We also have a few different cheeses, smoked salmon, and of course you can't forget muesli. So yeah, it's been a very nice change in diet since we've left Asia.
Yeah, I'd say. Quite the feast, I must say, as well. Yeah, this is a completely different type of meal from what we were having in Asia. Most of the time in Asia, we would have meals and breakfasts consisting of rice, noodle dishes, sometimes dim sum. So this is a much heartier type of meal.
One of the big changes since leaving Asia is that we're actually eating all of our breakfasts at home, in the kitchen table. Whereas in Asia, we were often going to a little market or like little street stalls where they prepared the food in front of us. So it's, in a way, it's kind of nice just rolling out of bed in your pajamas and being able to eat at home without having to get dressed.
With your bed hair and everything. Enough talking, it's time to dig in.
Yes. And that concludes breakfast. We certainly took care of things, and now we just have empty plates in front of us.
And a whole lot of dishwashing to do.
So you can't come to Germany and not order Schnitzel, so that is what we're having today for lunch. Schnitzel is basically a breaded cutlet. This one that I'm having is pork, and you can get it either with mashed potatoes, potato wedges, or French fries. So I'm having it with a potato salad today. First bite here with a champignon sauce.
Is it nice really and tender?
Good, really tender, and I really like the creamy sauce over top.
Oh, that is so tender and tasty.
So there are a few variations of schnitzel around the world. In Argentina, for example, we have something called milanesa, which is a breaded cutlet, and it's normally made out of veal, but you can also get beef or chicken.
And in Korea and Japan, you can get something called tonkatsu, which is once again breaded pork cutlet. It's delicious, but I prefer the German schnitzel more. The total came to just under €10, and I thought it was a very affordable meal for lunch.
For today's video, you are in for a sweet treat, quite literally, because we are in Germany and we've decided to taste test a few of our favorite chocolates. The brand we are testing is Ritter Sport, and we have 6 different varieties. Let's show them. Ooh.
So you've got 3 in your hand, I've got 3 in mine.
And we're gonna be trying all of these and letting you know what our favorites are.
Now the first thing to know is that there's a special way to open these, and Audrey is going to show us.
I'm a pro, watch this. Okay, that one malfunctioned.
One more.
So you just crack it open. Ooh la la, chocolat. Okay, so the first kind we're going to be trying is this yellow pack, and it's a cornflake chocolate. So regular milk chocolate, but stuffed with cornflakes.
I've never had chocolate with cornflakes before, but I like both things, so I have high expectations here.
I've had this before and it's one of my favorites.
So a bite each. Oh wow, that's a crunchy one. How do you like it?
It's amazing. It reminds me of a chocolate we have in North America. I think it's called Crunch or Crunchy.
It is like the crunchy bar, but this is better.
The next one we're trying is the red package. This is marzipan. And it's basically an almond paste made with honey and sugar. So that's the filling inside this chocolate. It also looks like it's a darker chocolate. I'm not a fan of dark chocolate. I prefer milk chocolate, so we'll see how this goes. Here.
That's very rich and decadent. You like it?
I prefer milk chocolate. I've already said that. It's not my favorite, but the marzipan is very sweet, so that kind of balances the bitterness of the dark chocolate. So it's okay. Oh, I need water.
Okay, now this is the one I've been really wanting to have. I'm a huge fan of peppermint chocolate, and Ritter Sport is high quality chocolate, so I have very high expectations for this.
Okay.
Let's give it a try. Right? Oh wow. What do you think?
It's a lot like those After 8 really thin chocolate strips. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good. It's like it's also like the junior mints that we have in North America as well. Number 4. So this one is the espresso flavor. And do you normally like espresso?
I do not like coffee, so no espresso for me.
Yeah, we're not coffee drinkers, so not sure how we're gonna like these ones.
This is torture. Okay. It has a strong coffee flavor, but it's milk chocolate, not dark chocolate, so it's bearable.
I think if you put enough sugar in anything, you can make it taste good. So even though I don't like this flavor normally, I actually quite like it in chocolate form.
Okay, next up we have a new flavor that I haven't seen before. It's called Olympia, and it has yogurt, honey, nuts, and grape sugar, if my translation is correct. So,
Sounds interesting.
let's see. Take a square. Ew!
Oh, that's an interesting one. You like it?
It doesn't have a very distinct flavor considering it has 4 unique ingredients in the filling.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I just coughed on the chocolate so that I get the rest of it afterwards. Not a bad strategy, huh? Last but certainly not least, we have coconut. And I am a huge coconut fan. Do you think you're gonna like this one?
I've actually been having this chocolate when Sam's not around. I run into the supermarket and get a square for myself. Gobble it up before he has
I'm
a
just
chance.
finding this out now. That's evil. Here you
This
go.
is the best one in my opinion.
This looks so good, I'm taking 2 squares. Oh wow. Like big chunks of coconut, that's...
It's creamy,
Oh,
it's sweet. I feel like I'm back in the tropics enjoying a coconut shake.
that's by far the best one as far as I'm concerned.
So I'm gonna choose my top 2, and if I had to rank them, I'd say coconut number 1 and maybe the cornflakes number 2. I really enjoyed those. What about you?
Okay. Well, for me, I would go coconut also number 1, but then I would go peppermint number 2. So I think we figured out something quite important here. If we were to buy the coconut flavored Ritter Sport, we're gonna be fighting over it. Quite literally. Here, give it to me.
If any of you chocolate lovers find yourselves in Germany, there is actually a Ritter Sport chocolate factory located outside of Stuttgart. I went there a couple of years ago and their chocolate store is amazing. They have so much variety and all the packaging is so colorful, so you can certainly spend a few hours there picking up souvenirs to take back home or to eat before you go back home.
So if you're in Germany traveling and you want to try the Ritter Sport, they're 99 cents of a euro.
So a little history into this chocolate bar. As you can see, it's a square shape because it was actually meant to fit inside of a gentleman's blazer, inside the front pocket, so that if they were ever at the theater or at the cinema and they needed something to munch on, they could discreetly pull it out and have their Ritter Sport. Yum.
That's clever.
Yeah.
I just need to spit it out. Oh. You didn't like that? Oh gosh, Audrey. Stop being so dramatic.
The longer I keep it in my mouth, the worse it gets. Jeez.
It's been weird. Here. This one. Coconut, like that.
Me.
I've only talked the ways. Do you want to do this one? Sure.